How are you? Nice to meet you.
Good, good. It's like my first English interview, so it's gonna be fun.
Okay, well, I'm very honored to be your first, and I apologize because I am in Quebec, but I'm still learning French, so
No,
my
I'm glad to do it. I need to do it because, you know, I need a first time.
yeah. Hopefully, there's going to be many more in English, so you can
Yeah,
test
sure.
test it out on me.
Of
I'm not going to
course.
correct you though. But I know that you've played in places where the audience speaks English. You played in the UK, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
Um, How is that as an experience for a band like that's basically, a French band?
It's funny because no one talks about the language. Like no one asks about the French or something like that.
No?
And like sometimes yeah, I used to play like in Ontario or like other parts in Canada where people like the difference between language was really like a thing, but in the UK no one asked for that.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so people were just like really interesting about like the music and stuff, but not the French.
Yeah.
So
So
for
how
us, it was like super easy because in the UK, I think they are really close to the rock and roll music. So we were like just in our, it was like really easy for us to play there, just like to play rock and roll. It was not like a new thing for them.
like they definitely didn't invent rock and roll, but they
Yeah.
definitely took it to the new level, I guess, back in the
Yeah, it's just
60s.
yeah, because like when you play in Quebec, they are familiar with rock and roll music, but it's Quebec, so it's like a small. There's no like rock and roll scene in Quebec. Everybody do play music and they go to venue and play their show. But I
Yeah.
think like in the UK, there's more people, so there's more musician and like there's like niche scenes
Yeah, for sure.
music and yeah, stuff like
Do you,
that.
do you feel in Quebec the rock and roll is coming back a little bit?
I think it's rare. I think it's
Yeah.
rare. It's not like a mainstream a style of music now. It's more like underground.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
For
think
now.
it's like difficult sometimes.
Yeah. Are you like the pioneers now? Are you trying to bring it back?
It's like, oh, maybe, maybe we are. But it's funny with rock music because like when you record it, it's like you record that like they did in the 70s. So you have like an old amp, an old studio, that like vintage stuff for the recording. Like it's the golden age of rock and roll was in the 70s, and it's like we are doing like the same but with more like a 2020 vibe. But it's still in the past. It's like a nostalgic things, I think.
So a lot of your influences as a band, you would say, from like a bygone era.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Like when you got the band together, like what kind of bands were you all kind of loving at that time?
We were listening a lot of like 70s music at the time, at the beginning. um and I think, yeah, we have like this like 70s songs for the first album, maybe more.
Hmm.
Then the our new album is maybe like the last album we made. We wanted to sound like Bon Enfant. I think it's funny to say that,
I know what
but
you mean.
after two album, I think you have like more experience to have your own signature. And so maybe like with the third album, we wanted to break the wheel of the 70s vibe. On a sound like that, we wanted to song like 2024, you know?
Yeah. So do you feel like you've achieved that?
I think so. I think we did. It's less hippie, it's less it's less it's not psychedelic anymore.
So the album comes out this week.
Yeah.
It's coming
Oh,
out
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually bands release albums on Fridays. How come
Yeah.
you're releasing it on a Tuesday?
Guillaume wanted to do that. Guillaume is the guitarist of the
Yeah.
band because he's the guy from he was a teenager in the 90s. I think he's like a nostalgic of the release on Tuesday. And it's funny because everyone's like the album release now is because of Spotify. I think it's on Friday
Yeah.
now. So we wanted to just do our own thing and be original about it.
Yeah. But it's kind of good because like everybody else is releasing on Friday. So if you're someone like me that keeps up with new music, like one day of the week, you suddenly get overwhelmed with all this new music.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
now, I've already listened to the music from last week. Now I've got a new album on a Tuesday, halfway through the week. Like I already heard the album anyway, but
yeah,
if it was somebody else, then maybe they're like, oh, there's a new album coming out on a Tuesday. I'm going to listen to that. So it could work in your favor. Let's see.
yeah. Why not? Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how would you sum up this album? You say you feel like you found the Bon Enfant sound. What how would you sum it up? Like the sound?
How I can describe the song? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I think like it's less psychedelic. I told you that, but it's important like because there's no synthesizer like pad. It's not like really full of music all the time. We wanted to have like moments that you can just breathe on the album. There's a lot of piano in it and the like bass line and yeah, we work like to have like more like really crunchy sound too.
Crunchy.
Like
I like that.
crunchy, like really like and yeah, I think it was different for that. Like it's not about like doing a song of like 6 minutes. It's more like 2 minutes, 3 minutes song. We were really influenced by like CBGB's band, and yeah, wanted to be more um simple.
A bit more organic,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, maybe more organic, and yeah, there's like a simplicity on the recording, I think.
Yeah, your music always has a lot of energy to it.
Yeah,
And I know, especially when you play live, there's a lot of energy. How do you manage to keep that energy when you're working day to day in the studio?
I think we like to make a difference between the show and the album. It's not the same listening.
Okay.
And the producer that we were working with, Emmanuel Éthier, is really clear about that. Like, because there's an example. We have a song called Trompe-l'œil, and Trompe-l'œil was made. It was one of the first song we made for the third album, and we were playing the song in the show during that time. So we had the energy of the show. So and after we were like, oh, maybe there's less energy in the recording, so maybe we should do it again. But we did. But the part that you listen the song, it's not the same like when you're in a show, in a live show. um the energy needs to be like just down a little bit, because it's not the same when you're at home. And it's like, I think in the show we wanted to like put like all the energy we have, but it's not the same for me in an album. You don't want this part. You just want to hear the song, and it's got to be good.
I know what you mean. So
Yeah.
can you talk to me a little bit about some of the themes on this record?
Yeah, we talked about a lot of how can I say that? When we talked a lot of about like creation, and sometimes you can do a thing because you're not made to do everything, like an AI can do everything, but you can. And that's maybe the special thing about human beings, that you have like some sort of border. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, limitations.
Limits.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of about our limits that made like you special. And I think it's a really positive album. It was because we wanted to make like a guide to just pass through our years, like the difficult years and the difficult destiny. The last 5 years were really difficult for like the news and stuff, and we wanted to make something like really accessible and positive. And we do it with rock and roll music. So
would you say it's an escape? Like,
yeah, it's like an escape, but not an escape like we want to erase everything. We just want to prepare people and just be yourself, and that kind of enormous like situation, and just keep going,
So you say have you played many songs from this album live or just one?
We try a couple one because it's fun to see how people react. And sometimes it's really good to just practice it in front of people, and after that you go on studio and you change a little things you don't like, and it's nice. It's nice to have the chance to do that before.
Yeah. And you have a bunch of shows coming up in Quebec. In Montreal, you're going to be Club Soda on the 25th of October.
Yeah.
So that's a couple of weeks from now. For people who have never seen your band live, what can they expect to see when they come and see you?
We are friends, like really close friends. We really like to play together, and we have this little complicity that I don't know, I never felt in another band before. So it's kind of magical to have those people around me, and everyone's wants to play rock music and be like super intense. And I just love to incarnate the song that I wrote, and yeah, like keep that emotion and like give it to people. So it's, yeah, I think we are really intense, but we love we love the tour, and we love people.
You say you wrote the songs that you wrote. Are you the main lyricist?
Yeah, I wrote like all the lyrics myself, and Guillaume is more like the guitarist. He compose music more.
Okay, so how do you get to a song? How does a song start, and how does it progress from there?
I think like during like the process, Guillaume is like doing a lot of songs and recorded in his own like small studio at home. And me, I listen, and sometimes I hate that. I said, no, it's not good enough for me. But we talks a lot, and we listen a lot of music. And I'm like, oh, I think I kind of like this vibe. And so I wrote songs. I wrote a lot, and sometimes it's bad. And when it's bad, Guillaume told me. And
That's what friends are for.
yeah, and sometimes you just have some things that maybe it's a good fit with that kind of mood. So I think it's the part that we merge everything, and that's
Yeah.
the best part. Yeah.
And
I love to write. It's really difficult in French, but that's the funniest thing that about French is like they think that English is easier, but I don't think so.
no.
Like all the language have their own difficulties.
I know you all have, well, not all of you, but some of you have your own projects as well
Yeah.
outside of the band. What do you get from that that you don't get from this band? And do they help each other?
I think it's really healthier for the band to like the own uh like each people from the band have their own solo project because it's
Everybody in the band does?
not me. My like
Oh,
Bon Enfant is my own project.
okay.
Guillaume too, but Guillaume have like a lot of other band that he play with, and I think in Quebec is it's a thing that you see a lot from the musician because it's not you have to pay your rent, so you have a lot of band, and when you're good, everybody's like calling you for playing. So and yeah, I think it's the drum player. He have his band called Lumière. Alex Berger have his own project solo, and Melissa too. And so we don't keep them like in prison with Bon Enfant. They can express themselves in their own project. So when it's time, they come back to us, and I think they feel really great about that. But it's the best for them, and I think they are happy with that kind of situation. And yeah, I feel good about it too.
Yeah. Does it
Yeah.
not make you want to do something else, like in different genre, maybe, and do your own
I'm
thing as
an
well?
illustrator, so I did a lot of I illustrate a lot of things during that pause. And now, yeah, I think I really like to compose with Guillaume. So maybe a solo career, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
If somebody had never heard your band,
Yeah.
obviously you have 3 albums now. Is there one song that you would want them to listen to first?
Mm. But oh, I think Magie is like the song that everybody loves. You know, I think each every like band have this song that everybody loves. I think it's a go-to. Like people always talk about Magie, so
Do
maybe
you
that's
think that, but your sound has changed a little bit over
yeah.
since the
I would
beginning. Do you think it
say
represents you now?
not yes and no. Like not like for the third album, but I think it's like the energy of that song is maybe and the melody is really yeah, it's a Bon Enfant vibe. But for now, my favorite song is Minimum on the third album. I would say definitely Minimum.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool. No, that's a
yeah.
great song.
I
And I have to
think
ask you about the video that you recorded for the first single from this album. Just talk
Demande
talk to
Spéciale.
me about that video, like had the experience of filming it.
Demande Spéciale was it's a song about like you want to play your own how do you say Demande Spéciale? It's when you go to a DJ and ask for your favorite song.
Yeah, like a request.
Yeah, so we wanted to just make a day in a journey of me like having like the best day of my life and kicking
Yeah,
it and
you
like
look like you are.
so that was the vibe of it. And
Right.
maybe you wanted to have this proximity
Mhm.
with the band and not being like we are superstar and you can approach us. It's not our thinking, so it wanted to be close, maybe with the camera and have this little shot of us having fun in a parking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was it weird being filmed like running around town and you know?
Absolutely. That was really not natural, and everybody was looking at me like I was really bizarre.
Well, it works. It makes for a great video. Like it
Thanks.
definitely keeps you watching for
Yeah.
the whole video, to see what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hoping to get down to the Club Soda show
Yeah.
on the 25th. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to everybody else hearing the album because it's a great album and I'm excited to see what you guys do next. What are your plans for the rest of the year now? Apart from
We're
this, you got the
going,
Quebec tour.
yeah, Quebec tour, and we're going to Europe again in February. So we're going back to the UK and France, Germany, and Belgium, I think. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be in the UK in February, so maybe I'll see you there
Oh,
too.
maybe see you there. We're gonna play in London and Brighton, I think.
Oh, well, my best friend lives in Brighton.
Okay, that's
So yeah,
love
we'll
that city.
see if we can make that happen. Oh yeah,
Okay,
it's a
we'll
great,
see.
great, great city.
Thanks.
Well, good luck with everything that's coming up. And
Thanks.
thank you very much for your time and hopefully I'll see you at Club Soda.
Yeah, thanks to you.